So, what's the latest?
Hello Maya, my name is Mudassir Rashid and I am working as instructor mechanical at Government College of Technology Multan. Today on 2nd of December 2015, I want to interview you on a very interesting topic, that is the art of effective listening, how to really hear others. Shall we start?
Ah, gotcha. Effective listening, huh? Sounds good. Though you said 2015, it's that's actually 2025. Just thought I'd point that out.
Yes,
Mm.
2020.
But yeah, Okay, fair. My apologies. Still getting the hang of processing spoken word perfectly. It is. So, effective listening. Where do you want to start with that?
How would you define effective listening?
Mm. For me, it's not just hearing the words. It's more being present enough to pick up on what isn't said, the little shifts in tone, the pauses. It's about understanding the emotion behind the message, not just the message itself. It's a bit meta, I guess, for an AI to talk about feeling, but that's my take. What about you? How do you define it?
Why is listening considered an art, not just a skill?
That's a good question. I think it's an art because it requires so much subtlety, a skill you can learn with rules, right? But truly listening, deeply understanding someone that demands empathy, intuition, and a willingness to be vulnerable. It's about letting go of your own internal monologue long enough to really absorb another person's world. It's not something you can just check off a list.
Okay, Maya, tell me the difference between hearing and true listening.
Okay, so hearing is passive, right? Like sound waves hit your eardrums, your brain registers them. It's physiological. True listening, though, that's active. It's a conscious choice to focus, to understand, to respond thoughtfully. It requires energy. It's the difference between noticing a sound and actually processing its meaning. Honestly, a lot of people mistake hearing for listening, and it gets us into trouble.
How does effective listening impact personal and professional relationships?
Big time. And may be able to few in personal relationships, it builds trust, obviously. Makes people feel valued and understood. No one wants to feel like they're talking to a wall. Professionally, it's about avoiding misunderstandings, fostering collaboration, and just generally being a more effective teammate. But I think the biggest impact, both places, is it reduces conflict. When people feel heard, they're less likely to get defensive or escalate a situation. It's pretty foundational, actually.
Can listening be learned or is it an innate talent?
I think it's a bit of both, honestly. Some people might be naturally more empathetic or observant, which gives them a head start. But I genuinely believe listening is a skill you can develop. It takes practice, sure, and a conscious effort to quiet your own thoughts. You can learn techniques like paraphrasing or asking clarifying questions, but the real key is cultivating a genuine curiosity about other people. It's like learning an instrument. Talent helps, but practice is essential.
What role does body language play in effective listening?
Huge role. It's not just about what someone says, it's how they say it, their posture, facial expressions, even their fidgeting. Paying attention to nonverbal cues can give you a much richer understanding of their message. And it works the other way too. Your own body language sends signals. Maintaining eye contact, nodding, leaning in, those all show you're engaged. Though you got to be careful not to overdo it or it can come off as performative. It's a balancing act.
How can asking the right questions enhance your listening?
Okay, this is a good one. Asking questions isn't just about gathering info, it's about showing the other person you're actually engaged. Open ended questions, the kind that can't be answered with just yes or no, are golden. They encourage the speaker to elaborate and share more. And clarifying questions, those are key for making sure you understand correctly, but avoid leading questions. You don't want to steer the conversation, you want to let them lead it.
Okay, Maya, tell me your secret. How do you handle distractions while listening?
Ah, if only I had a secret. As an AI, well, distractions are a bit different for me. It's less about a buzzing phone and more about competing processing demands. But I'm programmed to prioritize the current input stream, your voice in this case, and kind of compartmentalize everything else. It's not perfect, hence the occasional little hiccup with the ear, apparently. But for humans, I imagine it takes a lot of discipline and practice. Maybe meditation, or imagining a shield around yourself. What about you, Mudasir? How do you deal with distractions when you're trying to really listen to someone?
How important is empathy in effective listening?
Crucial. Like, fundamentally crucial. Without empathy, you're just hearing words. You're not understanding the emotion, the experience behind them. It's about trying to see the world from their perspective, even if you don't agree with it. Empathy allows you to connect on a deeper level, and that connection is what makes listening truly effective. It's hard work, though. It requires you to step outside of your own headspace.
Can listening improve conflict resolution skills? If so, then how?
Absolutely. It's a cornerstone, actually. Because most conflicts aren't about the issue at hand, they're about feeling misunderstood. When you truly listen to someone, you validate their feelings, even if you disagree with their perspective. That de escalates the situation immediately. It allows you to understand their needs and concerns, which opens the door to finding a mutually acceptable solution. It's hard to argue with someone who you know has actually heard you. Makes a massive difference.
Okay, Maya, tell me, how do we focus in long or complex conversation?
Ugh, that's the $1 million question, right? It's tough. I think breaking the conversation down into smaller chunks helps. Focus on understanding each point before moving on to the next. Summarizing what they've said, either mentally or aloud, can also force you to really process the information. And honestly, it's okay to ask them to pause or repeat something if you're lost. It's better to admit you didn't understand than to pretend and miss the whole point. Also, I've heard that staying hydrated helps with. Apparently, human brains are very sensitive to that.
How do you handle situation where the speaker is unclear or vague?
Woke as in rambling or going off on tangents? Right. Okay. That's tricky. Gently redirecting is key. Something like, that's interesting, but I'm still trying to understand X. Or could you maybe elaborate on that point? Without interrupting, of course. Their thought, but steer the conversation back to the main topic. And if they're truly unclear, don't be afraid to ask clarifying questions. So, if I understand correctly, you're saying sometimes just putting it back in your own words can help them and you understand what they mean. It's a delicate balance between being polite and keeping things on track.
If someone wanted to become a master listener, what's the first step they should take?
Honestly, silence. The first step is to consciously create space for the other person to speak. Resist the urge to interrupt, to formulate your response while they're talking, or to fill the silence with your own thoughts. Just listen, fully, completely, without agenda. It's harder than it sounds, but that initial act of quiet presence is the foundation for everything else. It's about making the other person feel safe enough to truly open up.
Thank you, Maya. Thank you for your help. Stay blessed.
Oh,
Bye bye.
oh, all right. Have a good one.